Hi guys, and welcome to another video of Vibing with Via. Of course, it's Monday, it's Monday's musing, and naturally I'm going to be sharing with you just my thoughts, my 2 cents on something that has been plaguing my mind a little bit. Okay, so I have been listening to the news and I'm hearing all this talk about education and all this talk about, this drive about getting the students to return to face-to-face school. And it's as though it's a scratch record. Every single time you hear any form of discourse surrounding education, it's the number one thing that persons are talking about. Let us get these children back in the classroom. Everybody needs to be back in the classroom. And so I've thought about it long and hard, and I'm wondering, is it that there is a drive? Is it that there is a thrust, a great desire to get the persons back in the classroom because parents and the other stakeholders are of the opinion that the students are not learning? Or is it that there is a drive to get the students back in the classroom because naturally the four walls of the classroom serves the purpose of a crèche? You need to drop off your children at daycare. Whether they're little children at the early childhood level, whether they're at the primary level, or if they're even at the secondary level, you need to have some babysitters overlook your children with the excuse that they are being educated. I'm disheartened because it is evident that there is a paradigm shift in education. It is evident that as a country, Jamaica in particular, we are about 7 years behind as it relates to the changes and the progress that would have been happening in education. We have been involuntarily thrown into the deep end and we're being asked to swim. But what I see coming to the forefront is an approach that says, listen, we're not trying to solve any problem here. We love what had existed. And what had existed is that we would have had a classroom with anywhere from 45 students upwards in a class to one teacher who is now here to give instructions left, right, and center. And this teacher would have still had 1,001 other responsibilities being a teacher in the classroom. And that's what we're used to, and that's what we're sticking to. Why would you want all students to be back in a school? Why? In the four walls of a classroom. The whole idea of remote learning is not new. The whole idea of a hybrid approach to teaching is not new. Blended learning, it's not new. It has been here for a while. There are persons who had the most to say about it at some point in time. But look at life, it has come full circle. And now it is an approach that we are dealing with and we're trying to understand and we're trying to learn more about. What's the difficulty? What strategies are we putting in place to ensure that what the students will get out of the learning exercise is rich, is potent, is progressive, is enlightening, is liberating? What are we doing in that regards? All students do not need to return to the classroom. All teachers do not need to return to the physical classroom for every single day of the week, Monday to Friday. We don't need to do that. Before we decide that the students are not learning, as a lot of these parents are saying, and some teachers too, when I hear the teachers who say that, man, I look at them different and I said, Lord Jesus, I wonder if somebody want to make me the Minister of Education, because them dead. Them just dead. Because it can't be a teacher who just sits and speak from the gut. That doesn't work. In this day and age, we need to be data-driven teachers. When you speak from a place of authority. When you speak because the information is there, the statistics is there, the data is there to drive the utterances that come out of your mouth. So repeatedly when this discussion comes, we're told of about 200,000 students who may not have access. And then the question that I ask of these leaders, so now that you have found out that they do not have access, what are you doing about it? That's one aspect of it, access. But there's another aspect that I haven't heard anybody talking about, and that has to do with usability. It is okay for everybody to have access, but how many of these students can actually use the systems and use the platforms that they're on? What level of support is being given to these individuals, whether they are in a face-to-face situation or they are working from home on their computers, tablets, phones, etc.? What support is given to them in that regard? Is this a time in which you can be hiring more persons? You could be hiring specialists. Is this a time in which those who would have served for a number of years in our sector could be called upon to serve in another arena? Is this a time for us to talk about money, finances? How can we improve the pay package of these teachers who are going above and beyond to ensure that certain things are happening within the classroom? What benefits can we give them? Is there a way in which we can blow up as the baddest thing around here when it comes to education? Now, persons would not even know that there are a lot of countries that are doing extremely well as it relates to their education sector. And guess whose blueprint they're using? The one from Jamaica. They came here. They studied what was happening here. Places like Finland and Singapore. They studied what was happening here. They took it back to their own country. They enacted that. And their result has been good. So then if we have that kind of, let's say, prototype, why aren't we using what we have put out there for others to study? Why is it not applicable in our situation, you know? Those are some of the things that we need to look at. So you have a situation in which the students are quote unquote learning online, remotely. Has there been any studies to say what the outcomes are in relation to that? That's how we talk and that's how we make decisions based on what we really see happening. What if there's a student who does extremely well at teaching online? What if there's a teacher who does extremely well at teaching online? Do you really need to bring these people to the face-to-face setting every single day of the week? Could it be a few days of the week? Or could it be that there's an option? Are you opting to do this course online? At the university level, I see persons opting to study online. Right now, if I am looking for a program to do a PhD, naturally, I am not going to get up and travel across the world to get it done in this season where COVID is going on. And I figure that I want to be closer to my family because life is so fleeting, you know? And I ask myself, is a piece of paper worth it for me to just get up and go all in the name of doing what? But it doesn't mean that I can't study. How am I able to do that? Online. What makes me think that I cannot dominate that space? What makes me think that I cannot work through the respective modules that I would be given? What makes me feel as though an instructor cannot give me instructions or correct what I have done from behind a computer screen? It's a nonsensical way of thinking. So persons get into talking about learning styles. Of course, we need to learn about the learning styles of these individuals for sure. People learn differently. But learning, I want to say, is a choice. So even if you are a person who learns by touch, if the instruction is even given to you behind a computer screen, let's say you're doing an experiment and your teacher is talking to you about growing peas and growing peas in a cup with a tissue. You know the little something they want to do in their grade 7, the little peas experiment. So you would have watched this on your computer screen, but you learn by touch and you want to do it. Why can't you replicate that in your home? You have your parents in your environment or other individuals. You need that social interaction. You want to discuss what it is. Why can't you research the information and have dialogue with your parents? I'm just saying, why can't you have dialogue with your friends, your family members, whoever? There are ways and means around this. Whole heap of ways and means around this. Let's go back and talk about those students that they say have no access. And let's see how best we could possibly fix that situation, because that's not hard. Every single community has at least 3 churches. When I ask Christ, every single community has at least 3 churches. And these churches normally come with church halls, and most of them are big because you know how the church situation got them ever run competition to see who can have the biggest building. So the church hall them big. You do have again these retired individuals. You do have persons who are they're bright individuals. They may have knowledge in a particular subject area. Some of them are working from home. They work between X hour, Y hour. Why can't we schedule it where we take a strategic approach to find those students who are without the access, and then we are now able to schedule these individuals for maybe 1 or 2 hours for the day, where there is an adult to supervise what is going on, or there is an adult to clarify what is happening in the respective classes. The access would be presented there, or provided rather there, so a person could now get on a computer to see whatever lesson their teachers may have taught, then their activities, and then there's somebody in that space to guide it, all protocols observed. Let's say I'm a teacher. I live in a particular community. I work between X and Y. When I am finished, could you ask me as a way of volunteerism, as a way of volunteering? Could you say to me, Miss, can you dedicate 1 hour for the week? Put it that way, just 1 hour for the week. I might not be the only teacher. Could you look at somebody who is in the community who is retired as a teacher and ask them to just give maybe 1 or 2 hours at a center to facilitate those children who do not have the access in their homes? How deliberate have we been as a ministry or as a country, as leaders, to solve the problem? Let's not forget, Jamaica's situation with the digital divide is not anything that is unique. It's not anything that is only here. Digital divide exists even in places like the Great America. Let me let you know. I have friends who are working in the field who talk about it. Because remember now, the digital divide is not just limited to do you have a computer. It's really about access and it's really about usability. It's everywhere. But do you want to just sit in your offices and complain and say, let us send them to the creech? Or do you really and truly want to sit down and use this? Sure, people say education never fail you. Use this, use your brain, use your head to think critically about some strategies that can be utilized to ensure that the nation's children are not left behind. We get it. Not everybody in a cohort will get to the end result within the same year, given the circumstances and given the fact that this is still fairly new. But come on, guys, we would have learned something over the last year. So based on what we have learned then, what are we trying to correct now? I'm just saying, I pray for the day where education is not a joke. I pray for the day where education is seen as something that is serious and something that is exciting, something that is dynamic, something that is flexible, something that is not static, and something that is not taken for granted, or just likened to I need an adult to watch over 45 children in 1 hour and 20 minutes intervals. Me hate it. If I could have fight it, I fight it. I hate it. Totally hate it. I think we need to get to that place now where we're really and truly taking a strategic approach towards education. Let me tell you this, I don't just run my mouth, People know that. In all circles that I'm in, persons know that. You see me, I am going to identify the problem. I will seek to find a solution, and when it is time for it to be enacted, trust and believe that yours truly will be at the front of the line to get that done. Because I don't believe in just always highlighting the problem. I really do believe that you should be a part of the solution. So I don't want nobody come in the comment section and say, oh, she just said this. Or even if you comment on the page and say it, you walk away from this video thinking that that's what it is. No, I'm always ready for serve. Always ready to fix a problem. I'm a purpose that for fix problem via the problem fixer. Okay, so let's really take a look at it and see or ask ourselves if we have done enough for that. The human element, that is important. I cannot negate that. It might feel a little bit weird not being able to touch your friends, not being able to really see your instructor face to face and all of them nice things there. But I also want to say to you guys that I don't know new. If that's our reality and if we work with it, we can work with it. The little one, them early childhood students, if you have to get them into face-to-face, then I can see through that. And you know what else is amazing though? I think about my friend who lives in Orlando. He's 3, just started going to school the other day. And it's amazing, he can read. And people would even know him can read. And him being able to read never come because a teacher make it happen. He was in the home and he was being stimulated in the home. I'm telling you the truth. His children, his little son, he's able to read, okay? He goes into the store and he reads the signs that are there. And remember, I'm saying to you that he just started school. I don't even think that his teachers are aware that he can read.
Ready? What's that? Read that, man. Look.
What's that?
Read.
We our right to there, so you always get the best teeth.
All right. Good job.
What am I saying? We can put the plans in place too in our homes. The parents can do a whole lot more to just support the process. Don't just come, Lord, the teacher, they come to class, boy, the people that learn, ban him own, him learn asynchronously, Lord, Jesus, did he have a live class? And just go on and on and on and on. Some are too young for know the days when the great grandparents never even get an opportunity to go sit down in one schoolroom and them brighter than me and you put together. How is that even possible? Let's look into that. So again, I'm not trying to say that face-to-face is an issue and we should never ever return to face-to-face. My preference, honestly, would be online because I think there is scope for greater things, you know, just that the human element is not there. But a lot has to do with your energy and your heart and how you come across in that space, you know what I mean? In that online space. But really and truly, guys, let's just look at it. Not every single student needs to return to face-to-face, and not every single teacher needs to return face-to-face. Let's get dynamic. Let's do something that's exciting, and let's put ourselves on the map. Okay, so that's it for me. Monday musing, you know, my little 2 cents on the little education thing and all of the appraisal thing where the minister talk about and these things. Minister, check yourself before you wreck yourself. But yeah, that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for watching, and of course you know that you need to like, share, comment and subscribe. Come, you need to share up the video too, you know, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that Vibing Via is over here, you know, she talk about things them over here, so she don't really care. It's not a war, just me sharing my 2 cents. And of course I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.
I see the nebula.
You what?
I see it.
What's that?
That's a nebula.
A nebula?
Yeah,
What is that?
from the star universe.
Oh yeah?